Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So, this is quite a big video because the new Rise of Nations update has come out, the Biomes and Events update, and I think it's a really good update. HyperAnt has done a lot of stuff here which I like, and I think most people also like. So there's a lot to uncover here. So one of them, which is one of the most distinctive things that has been changed in the game so far, is the biomes update. There's a lot of new biomes added that could either benefit you or not benefit you, mostly not benefit you. So one of them is basically arid, which is the desert, and it's basically, it kind of slows you and gives you more attrition. So that's not the best, but and so now, because it's November, the mild and severe winters have showed up. As you can see, it just became severe winter everywhere here in Canada. Here's the Arctic biome, which is basically the coldest one. Severe winter. Russia's basically all severe winter here. Some mild winter here. And so every biome either slows your units down or gives them more attrition, which is not the best, but you could use that to your advantage in any way possible. There's some more like the jungle and etc. etc. Now the other big one that has come out is the events. So most of them just pop up and tell you a scenario, and then you have to pick what you want to do about that scenario. And I just did. And if you go to modifiers, I got a national modifier, which is called economic growth, which just gives me more tax, more research output, more factory output, base stability, more less developed city cost, and more developed city speed. And it tells you when it expires, and etc. etc. It's really good because national modifiers though can also be good and bad. So you never know. And you have to be really, really careful with what you pick on most of these, because some events could lead up to something even worse later on. So like you have to pick the correct thing to do. So here's an event here. So I've never read this. I just see how it affects me here. And so I could just gain 200 research power but only lose 78 million, or I could just do nothing and I get nothing and I lose nothing. I'm gonna just do grant funding because it doesn't really matter here. I'm just showcasing the update. See another one. And your researcher, so this goes to a national modifier. As you can see here, it tells you if you gain one. Brilliant researcher with the following effects: research output 100, like plus 100%, which is really good. But you have to lose money in order to get it. So I'll just do that, and now I have two national modifiers going, and they're doing really nicely. So, as you can see, some cities with over 1 million population have become squares instead of big circles that they used to be, like Hanover, as you can see here, Nuremberg, and etc. etc. So that's something. They've also updated the GUI for troops here, and so it tells you unit numbers. So sometimes when you have like everything grouped up, so you know how people do capital defenses, which they put like multiple artillery, anti-air infantry, etc. etc. there. So you can just select all the units there, hold on unit numbers, and it tells you how many units are in there and what kind of units are in there. Also, they've added the reinforcements, which is basically, so when your troops are damaged, they have to heal up with your manpower. But sometimes you might not want some troops to heal up with manpower because maybe you're trying to save manpower for something else. So you can just click reinforcements off and they won't heal up and they'll stay, let's say, 68k. So that's actually really useful, and I have asked for that before, and yeah, I love it. They have done a lot, and I'm saying a lot of GUI updates. As you saw, like the pop-ups here, the events, they made it look nicer. So every time you're gaining on something, which is good, it becomes in green, which is good, obviously. Like for example, the economics here, the expenses here are 360K, and it's in red, and income is 3.1 million, which is great. And I'm quite a statistic loving guy. I really like to look at statistics, and I'm, well, quite interested by them. And so they've added a city overview one, which tells you all the highest populations of each city that you own, how much tax it gives you, how much manpower, and you can sort them like that. So you can sort them by manpower gain, and you can search for them. You can check how high their tier is, how much money they're giving you, population, etc., etc. And you could just, so you know the cities. So you know the cities that are in another huge city, for example, El Giza in Cairo. You could just go to city overview, then just search it. Like I'm not Egypt, but let's say I search El Giza, and it will pop up here, and it will say to select it, and I could just click yes and select, and it will select the city. So that's actually quite useful. Now they've added something for war. So what they've added here is pretty cool. You can just find it here. So every time I've had this happen to me so many times is that when I'm fighting a country, I just don't know where their last city is left. And so they've added this, which is view cities, and you can see what cities they have left that you haven't captured. Oh, a modifier lost. So that's actually really, really useful. And for anything else, they haven't added for war, but it doesn't really matter because it's. So also, what they have done is added a new formable for Russia, which is the Russian Empire, and they've made the German Reich harder to get. So you have to own all of these countries in order to make the German Empire or the German Reich, whatever you want to call it. So it's not as easy to make, rather than just getting Czech and Austria and just getting that 10 more stability. They've also updated the military view, which is quite nice here. It just has a nice GUI. It tells you the ongoing wars. Here's the German-Polish annexation war. You can see their losses, total attacking losses, and total defending losses, which is really cool. What they've also added here is the titles, which when you text in the chat, it will give you this title at the start. So you need to form certain formables or do certain achievements to get these titles. So for example, Warlord, Conqueror, Caliph, Kagan, Caesar, Tsar, Pirate, Basilius, Kaiser, Viking, etc. And these are the only ones so far that you can equip. And let's say I'm gonna equip Caesar, and it will say title selected Caesar. Now when I type hello right there, oh, nice. It says there's Caesar, and then Germany, and fudge burrito. So that's also pretty nice. Not very useful to have, but it's cool and all. They have also updated the formable list GUI, which I actually quite like, because it kind of looked too ragtag, and that also tells you how many formables you've completed up there, and you can just sort them by completed, all, and incomplete. So they've also changed some countries' colors because they were too close to another color from another country there's basically border in, like Bangladesh. Bangladesh had a very similar color to India, so they changed that. Venezuela is also one that had quite a close color to Colombia, so they have also changed that. Sudan's is also changed, and a lot of other countries, which I do not know if they've changed. They've also added a new skin, which is the Russia Cold War one. So basically, you can only get the skin from making the Soviet Union, which should be quite easy, and already have it, and it looks pretty decent. It's not the best you'll ever see, but The tanks just look different. Wait, let me get one real quick. So here's the Russian Cold War tank. It's not the most visually appealing, I think. I'd rather have the Germany skin than the Russian skin. But hey, it's a decent one, and if you don't already have the German skin, then you can always equip this because it's easier. All in all, this update is quite cool. We've wanted a lot of the things that they've added here for quite a bit, so I actually really like it. It is definitely not the biggest update I've ever seen, but it is a really good one, and I'm quite happy about what Hyperand did with this update because it's a good one, and you can't complain about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and goodbye.